Hello the internet! It is Sunday, the 21st of May, 2023, and welcome back to the channel. This week, or last week, I had an experience that I've not had before, and I want to share it with you. I want to talk you through it. I want to explain my feelings, my concerns. It was a bit of a... I'm going to use the word shocking, but it's not that shocking, but it was a little concerning. That's probably a better word. It was concerning what happened. So to break a story down quickly, to spare you all the drama, I did get hives. Now I want to tell you what hives are, and I want to talk a little about what I did to cure myself. I don't think I'm cured of hives, but it certainly fixed it for the time being. So just in case someone's watching this VOD later on and they want to get straight to the guts of it, there is a tablet you can take. I took this one, Telfast. It's an antihistamine. It'll fix your hives up ASAP. There, you can now go off and continue your life. But if you want to hang out and find out, I got some images here to show you my hives. If you want to find out a little more about it, you might want to stick around. But that's the meat and the guts of this stream. If you get hives, you can use this crap. It's called Telfast. It's an antihistamine, and it fixes it straight up. So I got a few questions about this too, by the way, but we'll get to that later. What are hives? I don't know. It's like a skin reaction, or it's a skin... So your skin reacts to something that your body doesn't approve of. Potentially you could be poisoned, you could be infected, you could be stung by something, and the reaction that your body has is to come up in these... Well, look, I'll show you what they are. This is my example, right? So this is what happened to me. Now these are various body parts. Where's that? I guess that's my thigh. But what the point of this is to show you what you're actually seeing here. These welts that all come up on your skin. It looks kind of like you've been bitten by 1,000 mosquitoes all at the one time. I believe this is under my armpit, or that could be my butt cheek. Is that my butt? No, my butt's not that hairy. Where would that be? Yeah, that's under my armpit. I was going to say that maybe my anus in there, but I don't think so. No, that's my... Yeah, I got a little dot there on my arm. So you can see the welting up here. Where have we here? Well, that's definitely my butt. But look at this welting. It makes your skin look a lot older. Like I look like an old man. I know I'm an old man, but I look like an old man. Very strange, eh? Very, very strange. That's another shot of the same area. I tried to get the light accurate so you could really see it. Isn't it? It looks like... It looks disturbing, doesn't it? It looks really... And let me tell you, when this pops up on your skin, you start to freak out. You start to get a little concerned. Anyone would, right? Anyone would. I did. You might. Oh, okay. So this is the next day. So these photos here are all taken on the night of, or sorry, the morning of. And this is the next day. So I guess I should explain what happened. So I came home from work. I paddle across a body of water to get home. It's brackish. It's sort of salt, fresh water. Mangrovey. Potentially there is where this happened, but I don't know for a fact. But that's what my speculation is. It happened right there. I don't know for a fact though. Something in the water, sea lice or something that I touched or something. I don't know. And when I got home, I noticed I was scratching, like I was just scratchy, itchy, and I was scratching it. And then I didn't think anything of it. And fast forward about an hour or two before I go to sleep or try to go to bed, and I just happened to go into the bathroom and do my nightly process, and I happened to catch a glimpse of just up here, and I'm like, what the hell's that? And then I start to realize I'm really itchy. So I take my top down, and I look at myself, and I got all this crap everywhere. So what I did right then would be what any other male would do. I went to bed and tried to forget about it, hoping it would just disappear in the morning. About an hour and a half after I was trying to go to sleep, and I did drop into a bit of sleep, I woke up furiously itching, like so badly itching. Turned the lights on, looked at myself, and I was like, dude, whatever this is, it's not going away, it's getting worse. And then in my mind, I was convinced it was my bed sheets, like a bed bug or something, right? Mind the bed bugs don't bite. I was convinced that's what it was. So I ripped all the sheets out, put them through the wash, cleaned everything, went back to sleep with a different set of pajamas on, woke up at ungodly o'clock, which is what time I wake up to go to work, and I was covered in this stuff. Like, and I was scratching all night, like in my sleep. It wasn't pleasant, right? It wasn't pleasant. And that's where this series of photos comes from, or the first set of photos, is when I woke up in the morning. So I went to work, as you would, as a man would anyway. And this is an interesting photo that I thought I'd show you. There's there's three here, but they're not in order. This is the better order. This is taken. Hey, Redox, how you doing, man? And Hendrik, how you doing? I forgot this was a live stream. Hello, Redox. Hello, Hendrik. Good to see you in the chit chat. Nice to have you. Nice to know you. Yeah, I forgot. This stream is meant to be kind of more like one that'll be on the internet for a while, and people can relate back to it later on. But I appreciate that you're here in the chat, Redox and Hendrik. Good to see you. And to that effect too, maybe after we finish the content, we'll just hang out here and have a drink or a chat or something. But let me go back to this shot here. So this photo I took, and I thought it was interesting because you can see my arm and what's going on with the hiving. And then about 20 minutes later, I took... I've done it backwards. Okay, forget you saw this one. This is what it looked like when So I took this photo, and I thought, damn, dude, that's pretty bad, whatever it is, right? It's getting pretty bad. 20 minutes later, it looked like this. Way worse, right? Like, goes from that to this in 20 minutes. And that's when, and there's a close-up here as well. Like, that's when I was like, huh, okay. I'm about 12 hours into this. Maybe I should take it a little more seriously. So I put up a post on Facebook. This is one good thing Facebook is good for, right? You can community post and people will respond. And I put up those images. A lot of swelling, no good. Yeah, Redox, a lot of swelling. It made me feel... Okay, that's the wrong way to phrase it, because I felt exactly normal. But when I looked at myself, I felt like I was older. I felt older than what I am by looking at myself. Everything else I felt normal, and that's why I went to work as a normal day, because I wasn't sick, right? I just had this weird shit all over my body, but I felt completely fine. But I put this post up, and 9 out of 10 people that responded said it was hives. A few people said go to the doctor immediately, which I think might have been overkill. A lot of people are keen for doctor. I'd get out of there, you bug. I don't go to the doctor that often, but excuse me. Yeah, I don't go to the doctor all that often, so I wasn't going to go. If the majority of Yahoos said this is hives and here's the treatment, and then 2 out of say 12 or 13 people said go to the doctor, I'm not going to go to the doctor. Plus I was at work and I couldn't get to a doctor. Redox, last time I got a rash like that was after sleeping around with some dodgy hookies. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. You do what you do, Redox. Not here to judge. But if you do like that shit, smash the like button. Can I get a like out of that? I don't know. Your thumbnail looks like your ass, by the way. Is it? Yes, the thumbnail is my ass. It is indeed. Because that's where... Man, I got it, and obviously I couldn't post this photo, but I had hives all the way into the depths of my anus. Right up. Like, right up in. I don't know if that's normal. All the way in, all the way around, everything was just hived up. Anyway, back to the Facebook post, because I want to thank those Yahoos on Facebook that did respond. It was very helpful. And they said, the majority of people said, go and get an antihistamine. Now, I've never had an antihistamine. Anti's usually bad, right? I thought you should have a positive histamine. Why are they got to be anti? Like, shouldn't it be good? I don't know, but this is what was recommended. Brand called Telfast. And I'll tell you this. Fast is the name. Fast is the game. I took one of these pills at 11:30 a.m. Was it 11:30? 12:30. Might have been 11:30. I took one of these pills, and within half an hour, I felt fine. I never felt bad. I was back to normal. in the sense that everything was going down. Before that though, I forgot to tell you, before I took the pill, I started getting really itchy right there in my palms, like super itchy, but there was no welting or anything. There was no visible signs of skin aids on my hand and my palm, but wow, it was so itchy. I drive a bus, a shuttle bus for my job, and I was holding the wheel and I felt like there was something biting my hand. I was like, what the hell's on my hand? It was right there in both palms. I took one of these Telfasts, and within half an hour, the itching had gone away, and I looked at my arm and I'm like, oh dude, it's getting better. And then within an hour, completely back to normal. 100% back to normal. So you might want to investigate these yahoos, Telfast. It does lead into a good conversation though. Yo, Dougski! How you doing, man? How you doing, Doug? Good to see you, buddy. Redox, you reckon it was an allergic reaction? That's what Hives is. Hives, if I understand correctly, Hives is a general word or a grouping word for the response that your body makes to a foreign object. It could be in the form of like a bee sting or a wasp sting or poison ivy, or it could be in the... And by the way, some of these stimuli include things like excess cold, like exposure to the cold, cold water. Now, I am paddling across this gap at nights and whatnot. It's not quite cold yet. It's going to get cold, right? We're a couple of weeks shy of winter here, but it's not cold. So it can't be that. But what I do think, and we're going to research this in a moment, but somebody told me that in the Jervis Bay area, there are reports of sea lice. So these are little animals that live in the water, and some people get affected by them. I'd never really had a problem with sea lice in the past. Apparently, if that's what it is, and by the way, you'll never really know what triggered it, but I can narrow it down to what I think is me paddling across that gap. That's what I think. That's where I think I picked up whatever this is. Whatever infected me, or whatever touched me, or whatever it was, I'm pretty certain that happened there. And by the way, if you're watching on Facebook and you're one of the yahoos that helped me, come over to the YouTube channel. This is a YouTube stream, and jump in the chat, because we need it. There's nobody else chatting. We need more chats, right? Don't do it on Facebook is what I'm saying. Like, I appreciate the Facebook love, but come on over to the YouTube channel. It's not hard to find. Give us a minute on YouTube. I'd love to have your conversation. But that leads me into this topic of conversation. These pills are over the counter, so you don't need a prescription. You just walk into... I went into a discount chemist warehouse. That's a big chain of pharmacies in Australia. And I just showed him my Hives, and he's like, oh yeah, that's Hives. Yeah, cool. We can do this and we can do that. My boss also recommended, hello Annette, if you're watching, she recommended getting some pine... something to do with pine needles. It's like a soaking thing. You can put it in a tub. I asked him about that, and he said, oh yeah, you probably won't need it, but if it's really bad, because he said, like, how bad is the itch? And I said, man, aside from my palms, it's not that bad. Like, I'm not scratching all day. So, and he's like, yeah, you probably won't need it. He said, get a small packet. So I did. I think there's a 24 in here. 30. I took one of these and it's gone away. That begs the question, what should I do with the other 29? Now, I know some people, again, my boss, she says she takes one of these every day for not asthma, pollen, what's it, sneezing? What's the sneezing thing that you get? Hay fever, hay fever. She says she takes one every day for hay fever. Can you get addicted to these things? I mean, if they're general, let me tell you. Let me fix my eyes for a second, and let me tell you what this says on this packaging. Non-drowsy, that's important if you drive a bus. Where'd you go? Oh, you're still there. Cool. I can't see shit when I've got these on my eyes. Non-drowsy cures sneezing, runny nose, itchy eyes, throat, itchy eyes or a throat. It cures your throat. My throat's fine. Itchy skin rash / hives. Fast-acting hay fever allergy relief. It's got fexofenadine hydrochloride. Fexofenadine hydrochloride. That doesn't sound healthy. It works though. What are the instructions? Medicine, active ingredient, fexofenadine hydrochloride. Purpose is an antihistamine. Uses: relief of the symptoms of hay fever allergies, including sneezing, including what I read before. Relief of the symptoms of itchy skin rash, hives, urticarial, swelling related to allergy, swelling related to hives, itchy skin rash, itch caused by hives. Warnings: do not use if you are pregnant or breastfeeding unless advised by a doctor. Well, I'm neither of those things. Do not use in children under 12. Do not use if the blister seal is broken. The packaging, not your blisters. Who can use this product? Adults and children over 12. How many? 1 tablet. How often? Daily as required. Consumer medicine information is available at your pharmacist. So, yeah, I wonder... Yo, Redox, when's the next cryptocurrency stream? You should cover Bitcoin, BRC20s, and ordinals. I do want to look into that, but yeah, I don't know when it's going to be. I'm really quite busy with work, and I'm not streaming anywhere near as much as I would like to. I'm paying off this loan, and once that's cleared, I'll drop back to 3 days a week at work, and there will be more streams at that point. But I've got a lot of tabs ready to roll, and I do want to look into those BRC20s. Aero Gamer, they're great for hay fever, my mate is telling me. Yeah, that's what I heard. I don't have hay fever though. I don't suffer from it. Redox, eat the remaining 29 to get superhuman powers. Hendrik, only take them if it reoccurs. If it were addictive, they would not be over the counter. That's what I was thinking. So what I wanted to do... what was that noise? I don't know. Maybe I should take one of those to cure that, whatever that was. I want to see what, first of all, what is an antihistamine? I want to find out what an antihistamine is. Definition. Oh, wait a sec. When histamine, a chemical created by your immune system, overreacts to an allergen such as pollen or pet dander, that's a cool word, it can cause symptoms such as coughing, sneezing, and watery eyes. Okay, so the histamine is the thing that reacts. Okay. Therefore, antihistamines are medications that help with allergies and also with stomach problems, cold, anxiety, and more. Man, that's like a power drug. It helps your anxiety, helps if you're anxious. That's pretty cool. Antihistamines are a class of drug commonly used to treat symptoms of allergies. These drugs help treat conditions caused by too much histamine. Too much histamine in your systemine. A chemical created by your body's immune system. Okay. Antihistamines are most commonly used by people who have allergic reactions to pollen and other allergens. They're also used to treat a variety of other conditions such as stomach problems, colds, anxiety, and more. What are allergies? This just keeps giving, doesn't it? Your body protects you from many threats. Your ribs protect your heart and lungs from injury. Your skin protects your body from outside elements like sun, wind, and bacteria that can cause disease and infections. Your eyelashes protect your eyes from debris. This is like an overriding, like, this is your body. How about that? And your body's internal protection system, your immune system, battles substances that enter your body that are deemed foreign. Interesting. An allergy occurs when your immune system overreacts to the foreign substance. In the case of an allergy, substances that are usually harmless and don't bother some people, me in one, such as dust or animal dander, do bother you. What the fuck is animal dander? Can I swear at this point? I swore. Sorry, YouTube, I swore. But we're far enough in. Pet dander, animals without fur like reptiles, amphibians, and fish do not shed dander. I have never heard of that word before now. Dander. So shed skin? No. Fish and amphibians. So like scaly, slimy, slippery, slimy sausages. What is animal dander? All warm-blooded animals shed tiny flakes from their skin called dander. It's like dandruff in humans, but much harder to see. It's this dander, along with proteins from saliva and other fluids that may be on animals' skins, that causes allergies in humans. Do you know what this could be then? I might have touched something, such as, inadvertently, down by the water's edge, a lot of fishing dudes, right? A lot of boats come back in, and they park up, and they hang out, and they clean their fish and all that stuff. And there are park benches. There's one park bench in particular that I sit on to put my shoes on and clean up before I go to work. Is it possible that somebody with fish put them up there or something, and then I touched them, and then I touched my mouth or something, and I got that fish dander? Fish dander. There's a band name for you. Speaking of band names, Drumzilla's in the house. Dander is what causes allergens skin. Yeah. How you doing, man? I'm just learning about this now. Fish don't have dander? No, it says they do. It says they do. All warm-blooded animals, so not fish. It's birds and furry animals. Wait. Animals without fur, like reptiles, amphibians, and fish, do not shed dander. Okay, so it can't be from them. Fuck. So forget everything I just said. Cancel that. That's not it. Okay? All right, well then let me stretch out further and say, I have seen... Of course, dude. Kangaroos. Right? There's heaps of kangaroos. There's kangaroos up the wazoo down there. Is it possible they're hanging out, laying on the table or something, and spreading dander everywhere? Kangaroos. It's got to be kangaroos, right? You know what I did see about 3 weeks ago? I think I saw a sugar glider. One of these things. If you're from outside Australia, I reckon I saw one of these. How do I know? Because it had this, it didn't do this, it didn't do the glidey glide, but it had this skin coloration on its side that you can see here. Oh, I've got a little phone call here. I'm going to fake this. This isn't a phone call. Am I going to fake that it is a phone call? No, it's going to turn it off. Yeah, I saw one of these in the morning when I'm getting ready at this park bench at like ungodly o'clock. I often take a whiz, right? There's no one around, so I just take a whiz in the bush, and just happened to look up into the trees, and I got a headlamp on, and I saw two eyes looking back at me. So I instantly hit the headlamp to full power, and straight up there, I saw what looked like this, and then it scampered across the tree. Didn't jump or anything, but it just scampered across. Pretty rad. Kangaroos are feral for skin diseases. Yeah, right on. Hendrik, it must have been that pussy you've been playing around with. Whoa, shit. The Joker is allergic too. Don't answer it. The Joker is allergic. The Joker. Why did you mention the Joker just then? I watched Batman 1967 film the other night. Very hard to watch, actually. It's pretty shit. Okay, so that's dander. Okay, so back to what is a histamine. Histamine is an important chemical that has a role in a number of different bodily processes. It stimulates gastric acid secretion, plays a role in inflammation, dilates blood vessels, affects muscle contractions. I love a good muscle contraction. In the intestines and lungs, and affects your heart rate. It also helps transmit messages between nerve cells and helps fluid move through blood vessel walls. Histamine is also released if your body encounters a threat from an allergen. Histamine causes vessels to swell and dilate, leading to the symptoms which I showed you. Interesting. What are some of the substances or allergens that can cause allergies? The top most common things that cause an allergic reaction in some people include food, dust, there's dust in this studio, pollen, pet dander, saliva or urine, mold, insect bites and stings, latex, certain medicines and drugs. So we can rule out food. I don't think I got it from food. We can rule out dust because I'm outside. We can rule in pollen. We can rule in pet dander, saliva or urine. We can probably rule in mold as well because there's mold and shit on my kayak. Hey! It could be from my... Oh! I think I've got it. I lean my kayak up against a tree. The tree has boring women on it. Wait, no. Fungi. That's a shit gag. There's fungi, mushrooms everywhere on this tree, like on the base of it. In fact, some of the fungi is that glowing, the stuff that glows green at night. It's pretty cool. I've not looked at it, I've not seen it. It's dead. Well, there are some dead, but there's some alive. I leaned my kayak up against it. I reckon I touched it. I reckon I brushed up against it, and then I touched my mouth or something. We're getting there. I get gives from some painkillers. They suck. You get it? You get gives. You get hives. I got you, Drumzilla. Oh, because the phone rang. It must have been the Joker. Yeah. That was my running gag. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I forgot I was doing that gag about the Joker calling me. Hey, by the way, thanks for the likes. I see 3 likes and 3 viewers watching. 3 and 3. This is a good ratio, right? Thank you so much for that. So yeah, I'm looking towards getting it from the river's edge, and I'm looking towards the mushrooms. I'm looking towards pet dander, insect bites and stings. Possibly a lot of insects down there at Ungodly O'Clock, for sure. It's got to be the sea lice. Let me see. I mean, I want to look at sea lice as well and work that out, but I feel like I'm getting somewhere. I tell you what I'm going to do. Just to be on record, I'm going to take one of these every day until they're gone. I'm going to take one of these until they're finished. Antihistamines. There's 3 racks of them. I'm going to keep them. I'm going to keep them up on stream so we can see. Here comes my antihistamine for the day. Late in the day. And then I'll put them over here. And we'll just have a little sing-along. Not a sing-along. What the hell? We'll just have a little follow-along and see how this goes. And if there's any kind of adverse reaction to... I mean, if you have too many antihistamines, does it make a positive mean? Anti-positive? Does it... If you go... Can you... I guess I should search it up. Can you overdose on anti... Hey Siri, can you overdose on antihistamines?
I found some web results. I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone.
No. I asked you, the HomePod. Why do you defer to the phone? Siri has to be the shittest home assistant, right? Terrible. I'm asking you, and I just want you to answer, yet it tells me it's going to send it to my phone. If I needed it to go to my phone, I would have asked on my phone, you stupid home assistant. Apple, they do things wonderfully many times, then they miss by a long shot many other times. In the sense of Siri on the HomePod, they're missing by a mile here. Let's continue reading. What allergic symptoms do histamines cause? Oh, here we go. Too much histamine. No, that's not what I've got. I'm taking antihistamines. So when your body generates too much histamine, can cause a variety of symptoms, including coughing or congestion, wheezer, or shortness of breath. Oh, no, that didn't say wheezer, but I read it as wheezer. Tiredness, fatigue, Okay. Itchy skin, hives, and other skin rashes. Itchy red watering eyes. A running or blocked nose or sneezing. Insomnia. I got no problem sleeping at all, man. I got an anti-insomnia. I don't sleep enough. What? Yeah. Insomnia is when you can't sleep. What are antihistamines? An antihistamine is a prescription or over-the-counter medicine that blocks some of what histamines do. Anti means against, so antihistamines are medicines that work against or block histamine. Huh. Okay, don't need to read the classifications. Let's see if you can overdose. Can you OD on antihistamines? Because Redox says you shouldn't be taking them unless you have allergic reactions daily. There have been reports of death due to antihistamine toxicity. These include accidental overdoses and intentional misuse. Death can occur when an overdose causes severe complications such as respiratory distress, cardiac arrest, or seizures. Uh-oh. How many antihistamines before overdose? Toxic doses of an antihistamine may happen when a person takes 3 to 5 times the normal amount. Why is that not hitting the whole page? No matter how much a person overdoses, they should seek medical help or call a poison control center. What are the symptoms thereof? Ah, shit. Taking too much antihistamine can lead to an adverse side effect and potential antihistamine overdose. Antihistamines are a class of blah, bling, blah, bling. We've already read that. People should blah, 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 blah. Can you overdose? Da, 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 da. People can overdose on any type of antihistamine. Antihistamines are a drug, blah, bling, blah, bling. There are several limits depending on blah, blah, bling, blah, bling. Symptoms. Just give us the fucking symptoms. Are you serious? This is so badly written. Look how long it takes to get to the actual symptoms. Signs and symptoms of antihistamine overdose in children. Nope. What about adults? Symptoms of antihistamine overdose in adults may include fever, flushing, dilated pupils, fast heart rate, low blood pressure, coma, inability to empty the bladder completely. I have that. I literally have that, but not because of antihistamine overdose. But I have urinary retention. So I guess maybe I shouldn't be doing this then. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Hendrik, I've set up my Siri on the phone to be able to use Google Assistant. I say, hey Google. Interesting. I wouldn't take anything unless I have to. It's a good point. It's a good point. Well, I'll tell you what I could do then. I could give those to my boss. She takes them daily. But yeah, she takes them daily. Wait a second. She takes them daily. Why can't I? I don't think it's going to be a problem. These aren't prescription ones. These are over the counter. How long do they last? Like, what's the expiry date? Because I just want to get my money's worth, you know? Sadly, that is actually part of the reason. Expiry 7th, 2025. So 2 years from now. June 2025. Guess I've got a fair while to go then. I don't know. The way I'm thinking is I want to just pop one every couple of days. Just till they're done. Telfast. Well, I'll tell you what. How about this? That kind of concludes this segment of the stream. There's nothing else I wanted to really touch on in regards to that experience. So I've kind of put a nice little seal on that. But because we didn't stream much this week, do you want to hang out for a while and I'm going to have a jack? We'll just kick back for a bit, have a chat. I don't know if anybody wants to call in, you're welcome to. I just don't want to go. I just don't want to leave yet. You know, I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave you. I just want to hang out for a while. That's all. Not forever. And I'm not going to, because I'm starting work. Actually, tomorrow I'm on a regular shift, so I don't start till 7 a.m., but I'm up at 5. So I just want to have a drink or two and just kick back. I want to mow the lawn and go fishing. Have I got old mate?
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing.
I don't know if you heard that. I don't know if I got that triggered here. Let's talk crypto, Jack Daniels, and hookers. Well, shit. Well, shit me. Let's talk crypto, Jack. I'm gonna go and get a beer anyway. Not a beer, a Jack. Oh, by the way, this will be the last one of these too. That's the last drop of Sweet and Oaky. Look at that. There's only one left in there. That's Let me go and get some cock and a glass and some ice, and I'll be right back. Oh, H-Man, did you get the new brew on? Yes, I did. It's been brewing for a week, dude. Been brewing for a week, skis. Jack Daniels, Sweet and Oaky. The little message here, only available in duty-free stores. We've already done this. This isn't a Jack Daniels opening, but just giving you the heads up what I'm consuming here. Small bottle, 500ml. The details there. This is number 1 in the Tennessee Travelers series. Mash comprises 80% corn, 12% barley, 8% rice, caramel, vanilla, and toasted oak with a creamy, clean finish. New American charred oak barrels, balanced character, sweet oaky, medium body, 53.5 alcohols swimming around in this little beauty. I've counted them. I can see them in there. They're swimming around in there. And now, do you know what? It might be enough for 2. Nah. %54 ABV. Gee whickers. Yeah, it's a strong one. And by the way, I bought a bottle of this last night or yesterday. And I was just comparing them before. Not drinking them, just smelling them. This smells lovely. This is not that great. In fact, maybe it's my nose. My nose is all blocked up. I've been picking this nose too much to the point where it bleeds and it scabs up, but then I go to pick the scab off and I just got to keep my fingers out of my nose, right? I just got to stop picking it. You have them still? If not, it's gone in 24 to 36 hours. There's something's wrong, bro. What's my hives? Are you Hey James, press the live button on the stream. I think you're behind in the stream. Do I still have hives? No, I don't. How was the photo shoot? Tell us about it. I didn't do a photo shoot per se, but I did photograph a whole bunch of bands last night. Regurgitator. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you about this in a moment. Regurgitator were playing the Unit album in full as a celebration of 20 years or 25 years of that album. And so they played with opening band Glitterous. Yes, Clitoris with a G, Glitterous. They were cool. Glitterous, Butterfingers, Custard, DZ Death Rays, and then Regurgitator. And I hung out. I didn't have access all areas. I just had the media photo pass. But Drumzilla, you can take them daily for years, no problems. Okay, cool. all right, I'll finish. I'll have one a day because my boss does as well. So yeah, I didn't have access all areas pass. I was just media photographer, so just the pit, 3 songs, and then you're out. But by the time the Gurge were on, it was about 10:30. I'd already shot what I wanted to, but I wanted to get this one shot, which is the venue's called the Roundhouse Lodge, and it's a round venue, and you can get up the top and look down. The top is open to the public, but then it gets packed and you can't get a good spot unless you climb over somebody or ask them to move. But there is like a kind of like a cordoned off area at the very end, and that's like for previous bands, and it's kind of like side stage, but it's actually above the stage. It's a pretty good spot to look from. So I just went up there and I just showed the security my pass, which doesn't get me there, but he's like, oh yeah, come on in. So when I was in there, I was like, oh, I guess now I'm backstage as well. So after I got my shots, I went into the band room and introduced myself, had a good chat with the drummer in Butterfingers, and then I ended up in a real long conversation with the drummer from Glitterous. She was lovely, actually. Hang on a sec, let me get a sip of this. Oh, dude. That's almost a Dre mix because it's 53% by volume. Have you ever heard of the Death Grips band? Saw them live 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard of Death Grips. No, I have not heard that band. Yeah, so this woman, the drummer, I can show you pictures of her actually because my photos are already up. Let me show you what I mean. We'll go to acrosstheocean.com.au. If you want to go and see my photographs that I'm talking about here, I'll put this at the right size. Here's the linky in the URL skis. You can go over there and have a look at your own leisure. But Glitterous, click this tab. These are my photos of this band. By the way, if this button doesn't work for you the first time, it does that. I don't know why. Refresh the trouser and then it loads the second photo and then they all load. I don't know why it does that, but refresh your trouser and then you're good to load. I'm going to show you a picture of the drummer, that's all. Where are we? Here she is. I recommend you bookmark that page, peeps. Actually, I'd recommend you bookmark this page instead. I'd recommend you bookmark this page. This is my actual photography website, bjwalk.com. This is the site where literally all of my photographs live. I'd recommend you bookmark this. I'll put this in the chat. Across the Ocean is my media website, but that's my photography website for bands. And if you're interested in seeing who I've photographed, on the right-hand side here, full list of bands, click that. That too says Hendrik, right on. And then there's an alphabeticalized listing of all the bands that I've shot. This came in handy last night, actually, because when I was talking with the drummer in... Actually, no, guitarist from DZ Death Rays. He came in and we had a chat. I was mentioning, let me just pop off there for a second. I was mentioning that by the way, that band, DZ Death Rays, I'd never seen them before. They fucking killed it last night. They were really, really good. I mean, all the bands were great, but DZ Death Rays were just, wow. Like, I'm in, right? I'd seen them before and I didn't like them. And the reason I didn't like them comes up on my website. I shot them at the Farmer and the Owl Festival in 2015, and on stage they were bamboozled by kids, and it looked like, from someone who'd never seen them before, it looked like the band had brought a whole bunch of people on stage with them for some weird reason. Like, they were just everywhere, and as a photographer it was very difficult to sort of try to isolate just the band and not have hordes of kids in the shots. So when I met this guitarist last night, I just said to him, dude, oh man, I shot your band one time and I hated it. Hey, like, no offense, like, tonight you fucking nailed it, but I hated it the other time because there was like, you guys had heaps of kids with you or something? Like, what did you bring children on tour or something? And he's like, oh, was that and was that, what was it, the Farmer and the Owl? And I'm like, yeah. And then I went to my website to confirm and went over here to D, clicked on D, scrolled down to DZ Death Rays here at the Farmer and the Owl Festival, March 2015, and clicked it and showed it to him. And I said, this is what I wrote about your set that time, buddy. There was apparently no stage manager at this set from DZ Death Rays. Either that or there was, and he had no problem with the stage being crowded by heaps of young, enthusiastic fans all standing behind the band as they played. What the fuck? I tried as best to not frame any in my shots, but I couldn't avoid some. And you'll get an image here. If you click this one, you'll see. To which this guitarist said yes, he recalled that show and he wasn't sure where those people came from, why they were there, or why nobody got rid of them. So it wasn't on him. By the way, my site is slow to load because these are the full-size images. Look at these kids back here, dude. What the fuck is with that? They're standing on the stage. It doesn't make any sense for a rock band to have that unless they're like, you know, members of the band's family or something. Yeah, I thought that was particularly intriguing. Redox, what was the first band that you photographed and how did you get into photography? Oh, good story. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that story. I'll tell you in a second though, but Hendrix Jelly, he'll have to tag along as a second shooter. Well, I tell you, man, this gig and any gig that I photograph in Sydney, there is always the scope for someone to come along and write a review of the show. People want, or promoters and PR people want, reviews as well as photographs from the shows to promote the following show of the following date of the tour. So yeah, if anybody wants to write reviews for Across the Ocean and you want to go to shows, hit me up and you can do it. Man, that's taken a long time to load. Full-size JPEGs, no compression, 300 DPI. Something's wrong at that point, right? It should have loaded by now. Anyway, the point of this conversation is to explain that the first time I saw this band, I hated their set because I thought this was part of their thing, that they brought these people up on stage. But he said, no, we didn't know what that was and nobody stopped it. And I was like, oh, that's shit. That's shit from Farmer and the Owl and the stage manager. He should have been all over that. Anyway, the point was, I was telling you about Glitterous because I met this girl from Glitterous, or the drummer, and she had an American accent, right? And I know that they're from Canberra. This band is from up down the road from me, right? They're from Canberra, the nation's capital, Australia's capital city, Canberra. And I knew that they were from there because all the other bands on the bill were from Brisbane. So you got Butterfingers from Brisbane, Custard from Brisbane, DZ Death Rays from Brisbane, Regurgitator from Brisbane, and then the first band, Glitterous, from Canberra. I think they won Triple J Unearthed or something to get there. On gigabit internet. Actually, the speed isn't quite there yet because I'm still using this. I'm still crippling my internet because of the cabling and stuff. I haven't finished it yet, but anyway, this woman had a very apparent American accent, and I said to her, "What's?" Actually, before I tell you that story, or before I get into that story, I'll just explain what happened when I walked into the dressing room, right? So, headliners are playing, Regurgitator, they're playing. I don't know, but I'm on an acquaintance basis with that band. So if I saw Quan or Ben, there would be a conversation because, anyway, I've shot them before and they know me, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they were playing. So in the dressing room, there are the other bands, Glitterous, Butterfingers, Custard, and DZ Death Rays, all of which I've never met before, I don't know. So I just walk into that dressing room, and I don't have a AAA pass, so I don't have any reason to be there, but I'm there. And first thing you see is a band member, and I just say to the guy, and it turns out it was the drummer in Butterfingers, I said, man, I'll be completely honest, I probably shouldn't be in here. I don't have access all areas. I'm just the media photographer. I got this pass, that's it. I just came in here to get a drink. Just putting it out there. I just came in here to get an alcoholic beverage. How am I looking for that? And he went, not good, man. It's all gone. There is a bottle of red there that's got about that much left in it, and you can get a cup from over there. But other than that, literally, we've drank it all. Then he said to me, he goes, because we went from there. I got the wine. We went from there, and then he said, man, no. Then the front man in Butterfingers came over, and I was talking to him because somebody told me back in I got the dates wrong. I told him it was in late 1990s, but it probably was in the early 2000s at the Carrying Bar Bizzo. Someone once said to me that me look like the front man in Butterfingers, and I told him that, and he's like, oh, okay. We didn't form our band until 2004 or something, so it can't have been then. And I was like, oh, maybe I got the dates wrong, but it did happen. There was a point where some random Butterfingers were playing at the Carrying Bar Bizzos, and then they said to me that you look like... I wasn't there at the gig, but I was on the street, whatever it was. Anyway, then the drummer said, man, I've got to just stop for a second. And he said, I appreciate that you came in here and didn't try to fabricate a story, but you came in and said you were upfront that you just came in here to get a drink. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie about it. I just came in here to get a drink. He's like, that's cool, man. I appreciate that. And so then it was fine. We could hang out and drink the wine. And then I sort of moved on and got chatting to this Glitterous girl because she's talking, and I was like, how come you've got an American accent if you're from Canberra? And she's like, oh, it's a long story. Turns out her family was born and raised in Burke, right? The back of Burke, right? This is the town. And at the age of 3, I think it was 3, her parents, who were hardcore Christians, packed up and moved to New York City with their kids. Took everything from Australia, a comfortable existence in fucking Burke, and went, oh, we're going to New York City to preach the Lord's word. So that's how she got a real hard American accent. She was really hitting the hard R's a lot in her conversation. So I found that intriguing. I was like, what? How old were you? And she's like, oh, I think she was 6 or something, 6 or 7. She went over to America. Anyway, her dad was a musician in church bands and stuff, and then she learned how to play drums and blah, blah, blah. This whole story went from just this Australian existence to all of a sudden this international existence to then marriage and 3 children, and then coming back to Australia, and like she lives in Canberra, she's doing something, nothing to do with music, and then all of a sudden her friends talking about this band that need a new drummer, and she's like, oh, well, I play drums, or I have played drums. She didn't have any drums, but she's like, I can get some drums. That's how she auditioned for Glitterous. I just found that an intriguing conversation. New York is your hardcore Christian? Wow, I would have thought New Orleans. Yeah, they went to New York City, and then she said they moved up like north to New York State, and that's where they sort of like spent a lot of their childhood, or a lot of her childhood. But I just found it an intriguing story, and yeah, we chewed the fat and blah blah blah. Then, and this might have just been chit chat, but DC Death Rays were talking again about this conversation about all the kids on the stage and stuff, and I was just explaining like, there's no way that a media photographer could do anything without, like, couldn't get these shots without kids in the way because of from the pit. You know, it's better if you could get on stage and get. And he was like, man, we'd love you to come and be our photographer. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, and because they're playing tonight, they're on this tour, and I was like, yeah, I'm and this it's just all talk, right? But then Glitterous are like, yeah, we'll pay you to be our photographer as well. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, it's a bit short notice because I can't come out and do this now. But the long story short is, I feel like it was just a little bit of. Let's not forget that all the alcohol had been drunk by that point, so there was a lot of conversation. But anyway, I've posted my photos on Across the Ocean, and I did connect with. Her name's Michael. It's either Michelle or Michael, but it's spelt Michael. Let me just find out. The drummer. Let's go to Glitterous. Great name for a band, right? Glitterous. Really cool name for a band. About Glitterous. Glitterous. Oh shit! Is this safe for work? Is this safe for work? What? This isn't the band. This is not it. Oh, shit. That's not it. Okay, so this is it. Loud, unapologetic, hilarious, fierce, fun, frenetic, femme rock, Glitterous Bandcamp. Glitterous are a 4-piece punk rock band from Canberra. The band is composed of Kevin, Malcolm, Mickey. Well, hang on. They've all got male names? What? Is this all a bit of a G-up? Kevin 007. I didn't know this. Malcolm on bass, Mickey on drums, and Andrew on lead guitar. Mickey. So she added me on Instagram, and I said, I don't really use Instagram, but she's like, no, start using it. And her name is Michael. So, Glitterous are known for their use of punk rock sounds and the utilization of humorous and political subject matter in their lyrics. The group occasionally incorporate multi-layered vocal harmonies. They did that a lot last night. They usually perform in vivid costumes and makeup. Let me show you what they looked like last night. I think I brought up some images. Yeah. You see, they got makeup and they got they had these high-vis crop tops. Jane, this is live. Hi dudes, hello Jane. Indeed it is live. How you doing, Janeski? What does Jane says? What does she says? Jane? Yeah, so Glitterous. If that image is too large to fit on the screen. Landscape works better for the size. Pretty cool. Great, thanks. And you? Yeah, I'm doing well too. Let's continue reading this though. Where are we? Their fan base is known as the Glitterati. The band are popular amongst the LGBTQI plus community. What's the I stand for? There's another one? Lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. Queer, and what's the I though? L, lesbian, G, gay, B, bi, T, transsexual, Q, queer. What's the I? Interspecies? Do you know what? I've always had a problem with this plus. Let me just pop off for a second. If you're going to have an acronym, LGBTQ, and now I, well, let's forget the I because we're not sure what that means, but LGBTQ plus, if the plus is there, here's my take on this, right? By the way, nothing against anybody in these communities. This is just the overriding, this is my sentiment. If you're going to have an acronym that has the letter or the symbol plus, you're basically saying everybody else, right? So you're saying we're a community of lesbian, gay, bi, trans, queer, plus. Now you're not specifying what that plus is. So that means it's everybody. So therefore it's not really a separate community. It is everybody. So you should just be saying people. Get rid of the plus, because the plus ruins it. Like, if you want to have a division and you want to have a separation of people with beliefs, you can't have the plus, because the plus means you're adding anything and anybody, which is everybody. That's what I've always thought, right? I've always been like, what? The plus ruins it. You can't branch out all that way, because then you're just going all the way back to the start to where it's like, oh, we're all in this. Oh my gosh, laugh out loud. Does that not make sense though? Am I not on something there? Like you're trying to, on the one hand, you're saying we or those in those communities are not part of everything. They're separate, so therefore they need their own separation. But then you add this plus at the end, which says, and anything else that fits in, right? Anything else. So that's everything. So then you haven't separated it. You've brought it back down to this You've gone from the start, separate, 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 separate. Anything else, you're back to the start again. Welcome all. Yeah, it's welcome all. So and that's the point. Like, so then, therefore, if you're gonna include everybody, why separate it even at the start? Like, why even have the acronym? You can only have the acronym if you get rid of the plus, is what I think. Man, I've got an itchy nose. More Telfast will fix that. I didn't really know this, but the band is popular amongst these communities, and they often speak. See, I mean, I didn't really hear the lyrics. I just saw the stage antics and the sound. I didn't really hear the lyrics. Formation 2014 to 2016. The band, initially comprising Tony on drums, so that's not the girl I met. Sophie Chapman on bass, Kevin 007. Why do they have male names? I mean, it's funny. They began as a one-off protest band when they played at the local festival, You Are Here, fully naked, covered in glitter. That's cool. The show sold out and they decided to continue. In late 2014, they recruited Andrew on lead guitar. In 2015, Glitterous recorded their 4-track debut, The Disgrace, I love it, at Infidel Studios in Queanbeyan, not far from here. Sophie left Glitterous in 2015, and the band recruited Malcolm on bass. In September 2016, the band signed to Buttercup Records and released their album, The Disgrace, or the 4-track. Later in 2016, the band headlined Art Not Apart's Sound and Fury show with special guests on the Gurge's Human Distribution Tour. So they've toured with the Gurge before. Okay, there you go. 2017-2019, Trump Card and The Policy. On January 20, 2017, Glitterous released a single, Trump Card, in protest at the inauguration of President Donald Trump. The track featured Trump quotes from his campaign. So they're a political band as well. The track featured Trump quotes from his campaign trail and was accompanied by a video depicting Glitterous performing the song in the studio. At the end of the video, the group sing in a 4-part harmony and are seen urinating on a picture of the president. Oh shit, you can get locked up for that, can't you? In 2017, Glitterous performed at Thrashville Festival, shared the bill with Frenzel Rom, Shona Knife, and Amanda Palmer, her of the Dresden Dolls. At the National Live Music Awards 2017, blah bling blang blang. 2017, Andrew was endorsed by Vance Custom Guitars. Oh, and bare knuckle pickups, rad. 2018, Glitterous recorded their debut album, The Policy, at the Pet Food Factory in Sydney with Jason Wiley of Frenzel Rom. The band headlined the Psych Fest. They went to New Zealand Fringe Festival in Wellington. Cool. In July 2018, Glitterous released the single Spit Hood, a critique of failures in the youth criminal justice system. So these guys sound very political. Very political. I mean, I didn't get any of that. I mean, I guess I didn't hear it, but I didn't know that it was... That almost takes away from it from me, because I thought it was just fun, but it seems like it's more fun with an agenda. I don't know. Then again, you could argue most bands have agendas, right? Someone's always for or against something. Yeah, I mean, TISM, for example, right? It shouldn't be a problem. But I just didn't catch it last night. The track was based on footage shown in the ABC Four Corners documentary Australia's Shame. In October 2018, the band released the title track from their debut album, The Policy, and announced an Aussie tour. The Policy was released in 2018. December 2018, Tony announced a departure from the band, and Glitterous recruited Scott ScoMo on drums. Not that ScoMo. The band returned in April 2019 to play a rousing set at Groove in the Moo. After a year of successful shows at the National Live Music Awards, Glitterous run Hard Rock Live Act. 2020, Slut Power. They released their Slut Power, the final single from their debut album. Performed 2 shows, blah, bling, blang, blang. Okay. There we go. In December 2020, the band recruited Mickey Glitterous on drums. This is the woman I was talking to last night. Performed at Darwin Railway Club on New Year's Eve. Discography, they got the EP, The Policy. Oh, sorry, that's the album. Their album is The Policy. The EP was The Disgrace. And The Slut Power Sessions. Well, there you go, folks. There you go. Glitterous. You might want to check them out. They had a Bandcamp link. Let me put that up for you. Let me give you the link. You might want to check out their music. Where was their Bandcamp? No, I found it over here, wasn't it? Nope. Shit. Oh, it's here. I guess we'll just get it this way. They sound rad. Oh, they were cool. I mean, here we go. Here's their Bandcamp. It's a big cock, isn't it? I mean, there's no debating what their logo is. I'll put it in the chat so you guys can take a listen if you want. I won't play it here because I'll get dinged. But yeah, glitterous. And like I said, I didn't catch any of that sort of political activism in the show last night. But then again, like I said, you probably... I wasn't hearing the lyrics so clearly, so... But way back up in the chit chat, Redox, what was the first band that you photographed and how did you get into photography? All right, I do like telling this story and I have told it before, but I'll tell it again now. Hendrix got that out tabbed. Yeah, sick, man. So still photography is... So videography was always my thing. Always had a video camera, always. And maybe had a little point and shoot Instamatic camera for skateboarding snapshots. That's about it. But then I went into graphic design in, I think, 2003 or 2004. Studied graphic design at the Graphic Design College? Nope. Somewhere in Sydney on Favo? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I studied graphic. I was working in this job, right? I was working in this shitty job, working for the Yellow Pages, but Census was the company that put out the Yellow Pages, and I was in it, like, basically a data entry. So think about the Yellow Pages. It's very data intensive, right? Like, all those listings are coming from a database and all that shit's got to be entered. So my role, along with a bunch of other people, was to enter that shit into the system, and then the system would generate the ads in the Yellow Pages. Some of the ads would have graphical content, and that would be a separate team. They were called graphic artists. So I began as a, what do they call them? Fuck, Dave Loy, are you watching? Dave. If Dave's watching, Dave, I don't know. Dave Loy was, that's so stupid. It's not even funny, but Dave Loy was like, turned out to be a good friend, but he was my boss. And yeah, just when some people in the team would need him, there was one person who would say his name 3 times. Instead of just saying Dave, he'd say Dave. And it'd be like, what are you calling him 3 times? Just ask him once. Anyway, I can't remember the name of the role. Fuck, I should be able to get this. ADHS. No, that was Adelaide Digital Hearing Solutions. ADS. An advertising data specialist. ADS, that's what it was. They're all dead, Dave. Thinking about getting into graphic design, less stressful than architecture. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. And if your graphic design career doesn't work out, you can always use your laptop to form yourself into an electronic band and go and twiddle some knobs. I remember a friend of mine, Chris Joins, g'day Joinsy if you're watching, he was talking about, what did he say? He said, if you want to see it, I think we were dissing, what was that band? Don't hold back. Is there anybody out there feeling something? What was that Aussie band? Fuck, they were terrible. Don't hold back. Is there anybody out there Anyway, his quote was, if you want to see a bunch of 28-year-old dudes twiddling MacBook Pros, just go to any graphic design and advertising agency. Because that's all they do on stage. Hey, anyway, fuck, man. Is there alcohol in this, Jax? 53.5 of them. So I'm working this role as an advertising data specialist, ADS. In that role, we were compiling the yellow pages, and sometimes some ads had graphics, and that would get palmed off to the graphic artists. And we worked in the same area of a building, or sort of partitioned off areas, but I got along really well with the graphic designers because I looked better, I looked cool. And so basically when I started that job, my ambition was to work in the graphic artist role. Turns out I achieved that role and then went on to team lead and SME, subject matter expert, because I went and studied graphic design while I was working that job. And there was a period of 9 weeks where I didn't have a single day off. 9 weeks in a row, consecutively, I worked and studied until I graduated the AMC, not AMC, thought it was AMC, something, Graphic Design College, not far from 175 Liverpool Street. And I got my graphic art diploma. I got a better job at Census, and I worked that role for X amount of time. And then I moved into the SME team leader role. Thank you, Wendy. She helped a lot with that. Wendy, if you're watching, hello. That was really rad. Also pursued a love interest. That was interesting. But in that role, I had to work in the studying, I had to work alongside photographers. And I quite liked watching what those photographers were doing. So they were bringing back photos for the art, the work that we were doing, putting together these pieces. And I quite liked it. I was like, oh, you guys just go out and you get a brief and then you go and shoot a photo and come back with it? Yeah, that's how it works. I moved from Yellow Pages into another publication called Near Me. Near Me was a magazine that Census, who owned Yellow Pages, also put out as like a guide to, like a local area guide. So featuring like restaurants and parks and things to do in your local area. And they divided it up into like the greater metropolitan regions of Sydney. I think there was like 7 or 8 different issues. And I moved into a role in Census as so there was the lead graphic artist, and then there were 2 subordinates underneath him, myself and another dude. I can't remember his name. Doesn't matter anyway. But on the first day of that role, I was so stoked. Is Census even still around? I don't even know, dude. I'm sure the Yellow Pages, I'm sure there's some products that they put out there. I don't think they're at 175 Liverpool Street, but that first day of that job, I remember being so stoked. Hey, I was like, dude, I'm no longer in a team of graphic artists. I'm working alongside a senior graphic designer to make a magazine. This is awesome. And that day, the senior designer comes to me and the other guy and says, okay, we've got a deadline of 3.5 weeks to get this thing to print. Here are all the ads. We need heaps of photos. We have none. All we have is the database of the ads, and we got to make the stories. We were doing the editorial and the photography. And he goes, okay, who wants to do the photos? And I was like, what do you mean do the photos? He's like, we need someone to go and shoot the photos. I was like, oh, I'll do it. I'd love to do it. And the other guy's like, yeah, you do it. I'll do all the other stuff. I'll do the editorial stuff. You do the photos. And so then the head art director goes, all right, I brought my camera in. He gives me his camera and says, how did I even get there? I would have driven, right? I don't remember driving out of Liverpool Street, but I definitely didn't take a train. He said the first issue was the Northern Beaches. He says, go up to DY, Mona Vale, go up there and get photos. Palm Beach, just go and go. And I'm like, what kind of photos? And he's like, anything like lifestyle. We got to showcase the area. And I was like, well, how long have I got? And he goes, you got the whole day. Take this and take this card and get lunch and just go and shoot photos. And I was like, hey, I'm a photographer. All of a sudden, I'm a photographer. I'm working in the magazine and I'm being told to go out and shoot the photos. Went up there, did all the shit, took heaps of photos of like just stuff that I thought was cool. Came back, showed him, it was all digital, showed him on the screen. He's like, dude, this is awesome. We got a bunch of shit now. Turns out, the very first time I ever took a photo, one of them got used as the cover of that magazine. So the very first paid photo shoot, because I was being paid obviously through Census, the first time I did any photo shoot was a paid, I wouldn't call it a contract, but it was paid, and I got on a cover of a magazine. It was bizarre. I hope that answers your story. I hope that answers your question, Redox. I don't even know if you're still here. I like telling stories though. They're probably mowing the lawn and going fishing.
I want to mow the lawn and go fishing.
I just farted. Yeah, that was interesting though. I really felt blessed to get such an opportunity at such an early, like, and near me was nothing, right? It's not a big deal, but it did lead to a lot of other things. But in that case, I'm a paid photographer too. You're right on. I mean, anybody that earns a paycheck and has to go out and shoot photos, they're a paid photographer. Man, I'll tell you a side story. That magazine ultimately folded. I think we did. I've got them all in. I can't get them now, but up there, I've got all that shit in a big vacuum sealed box. I've got all the issues, right? The covers and everything. I think we did three issues. Like, it was seasonal, like winter, spring, and summer or something. And we did 3, and then it folded. So they canned it all. Folding is the industry term for it's over, dude. You're done. So all of those roles were made redundant. And man, on the last day, on our last shift, I don't remember the name of this person, so it's neither here nor there. We were working and we went for a boozy lunch. The idea was to go and get, go and have our, and at that point it was also like, well, we're going to have all the accounts dudes and we're going to have all the advertising executives. And we're going to have all the head honcho. They're all going to be at this lunch, and then we're going to come back to the office and wrap things up. Lock off all the databases, do all the finessing of ending the project, and then you're going to basically depart the building, handing in your swipe card, and you're done, right? Wait, no, that's not how it happened. Fuck, that's not how it happened at all. It was to go back down to level 4. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, but we were all going to be in this one boozy lunch at, it's on York Street. Fuck, is it Baxter's? It's not Baxter's. Somewhere down, it was a cab ride from Liverpool Street, somewhere down York Street or Clarence Street or somewhere. Anyway, we went to this lunch. And it was a brewery. It was a brewery. We had big home brews at like 12 o'clock, and we were all getting pretty drunk. My boss, the lead graphic designer, comes up and goes to me and the other guy. I can't remember his name. Grant? No, not Grant. Doesn't matter. If you're watching on Facebook, though, come over to YouTube and chat. Greg, Anthony, Grant, you let me in. My ex-girlfriend stay at your place up. Guy Pendlebury. Guy, if you're watching on Facebook, come on over to the YouTube, man. I need you in the chat right now. Guy Pendlebury. If Guy Pendlebury is watching, come on over to YouTube. He's on my Facebook. Anyway, me, Guy, and this boss, or the head graphic designer, we're at this brewery, and he comes up. We're out on the street, right? It's either York Street or Clarence Street. We're on the street, and this guy says, celebration of the end of the Near Me project. I baked you some cookies.
It's like, you did what? He's like, yeah, I baked you some cookies. It's like, okay. All right, well, we got to go back to the office. I'll just have a half, right? I broke off a half, ate it. Guy took a whole, ate it. Boss guy dropped another one. Apparently that's his second of the day. We walked back to the office. By the time I got back to the office, I was so bent. Like, wow. Like, mind-alteringly, like, out of it. Completely. I've had a little dabble here and there over the years. I'd never been that stoned ever before. And it was from half a cookie. After we left the office, I actually went to meet my girlfriend at the State Theatre. What the fuck were we doing there? We went and saw a production of some sort. I met her at a internet cafe. Can you believe that you got the internet in cafes back then? I met her at an internet cafe, and I remember walking out the front to see if she was in there, and I was looking into the, and I was just so, like, my body was bent out of shape, but it wasn't. But I felt like I was that whacked. I was bent out of, like, I was walking along the street in a big arc. It was so mind altering. And I looked in there and I saw it, and I was like, and I walked in and she's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Anyway, we got out and we went up to the State Theatre, and we went, and I can't remember what we were doing there. I feel like we watched a movie or something at the State Theatre. I don't know. Do they ever do movies there? I don't know why we would have been there. But in that theatre, we were trying to get it on. Like, we're trying to be a little bit mischievous and like get a little sexy in the theatre. And I was just too stoned, hey. I was just completely out of my head. And she's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, it's just it's an emotional day, you know, like it's the end of Near Me. But I was just completely whacked. And afterwards, she lived up north and I lived down south. So we said, see you later. And I put her on a cab or whatever. And I went home. Man, I was stoned for a day and a half. The next morning I woke up, I was still completely whacked. And there's another girl, and in the aftermath of all this, when we talked about it freely, this girl, she was a bigger woman, right? Like a big, heavy-set woman. She actually went to hospital. So she had half a cookie, and she ended up in the hospital. Don't ask me what happened to her, but it was obviously an effect of this cookie. And we talked, me and Guy, because Guy was like, yeah, I was pretty whacked too. Guy, and when we talked about it, Guy's like, the boss is like, dude, that's weird because there's nothing really unusual. And he said, he had one of those cookies every single day of the Near Me project. So every single shift that we worked together, including the first one, he'd had one of those. He was fucking whacked out of his head the whole time that we worked together. And it was the one time that we did it that I was like, and he must have a tolerance to it, right? Like his like bodily tolerance must be super equipped, because me and Guy were like, fuck, that's heavy. And that other girl, I can't remember her name, she ended up in the hospital. It was bizarre, hey. Was the monorail still there back then? Dude, there was monorails, there was all kinds of rails, there was people flying around on scooters and shit. I can't remember, man. No, the monorail, I reckon the monorail came out before 2000, right? Oh no, wait, they put it in for the Olympics, didn't they? I don't remember, dude. We definitely didn't take the monorail though. Bernie's bent. Yeah, dude, that was so bizarre. Like, for him to say, yeah, I've been having one of these cookies every day since we worked on this project. We were like, dude, are you really? Like, he's like, yeah, man, like, it's no big deal. And we were like, dude, that is so strong, like so strong. He's like, it's not strong. It's like, are you sure it's not you didn't mess the recipe up? And he's like, dude, it's the same batch. He's like, I've got a whole tin of this shit. And he's like, Every day I have one. And we're like, if you have one of these every day, you need to stop, right? Your tolerance level is just out the wazoo. Like you got to chill and come back, take a break, come back in a month and start again because your tolerance. This is so strong, right? There's a girl in the hospital, a bigger girl, right? Like so her digestive system is bigger and works more intense than a thin dude, right? I was bent out of shape for a day and a half. She wound up in the hospital, and you're telling me you do one of these every single day of your working career? Shit. I can concentrate better when I'm stoned. My mind doesn't drift like it does normally. Great for work. I mean, yeah, okay. I know dudes that smoke a lot and that they function completely fine. I know dudes that skateboard that can't skateboard unless they're stoned. And I've never been that deep into it. I enjoy it just like I'd enjoy this, but I don't know, like that to get that whacked was just. I remember there were a lot of noises I was hearing. Like I remember walking through the city, and I got to that internet cafe which was on the corner of, what's the one that runs parallel to Elizabeth, but it's like this pit. There's this one, then there's Elizabeth and Liverpool Street. Liverpool Street goes east-west. Elizabeth Street runs north-south. Pitt Street runs north-south. There's one in between. I can't remember the name of that street. Anyway, that was where it was the corner of that and Liverpool. I remember walking up that street and I could hear noises like far off, distant noises, like a car door closing or an elevator shaft or a cat crying or something. I could just hear it super clearly, and I was like, wow, this city is like so alive right now. My last chuff I had in Tassie 13 months ago. Oh, wow. I like stories. Hey, Redox, are you still in the chat? Is anybody else still in the chat? Anybody else want to have a conversation? I've been waffling. Actually, I probably should wrap it up. Oh, it's only 6 p.m. That's all good. There's definitely no more of this left. Oh, there was a drop left in there. That was rad. Drumzilla, are you still here? Is anybody still here to hear me waffle? Anyway, I guess we'll get out of here. They're all dead, Dave. Let's see if Census is still around. Good question, H-Man. Census. Marketing services for Australian businesses. My yellow. They're dead. Everyone's dead. What? Chrissy Kachansky? She's dead, Dave. They're selling websites now? Personalized websites for your business? Wow. Yawn. Wow. Yellow Pages digital, Yellow Pages. The print still exists? No shit, dude. Wow. They still print this crap? You're not even there, Chanel. Get out of there, Chanel. There's still a Yellow Pages book? Get out of town, dude. Australia's trusted print directory. Nobody uses this shit anymore. Line entry in a line entry. BTE, bold type entry. In column ad, BTR, bold type reference. Display ad, 1UD. 2UD, 4UD. A knockout, 1K, 4K. 1P, 2P, 4P. I remember all the codes. Let's see if True Local, that was always a thing. Ha! True Local, no I was going to say that was always a thing. It's a 404. What about near me? Do they sponsor YouTubers like Squarespace? Maybe. What am I looking for? Oh, near me. Census near me. Huh. 175 Liverpool. They still have that building. Really? Products. Most popular questions. What does Census do? Who owns it? And how do I cancel my Census ad? Careers at Census. I wonder if they still have the ADS. Look at these crew. I wonder if there's anybody in that photo that I worked with. I don't recognize that foyer. Current opportunities. 404. That looks kind of more like the office that I remember. That'd be me in the background not paying attention to the photo. Yeah, I've got a photo of me sitting in one of these booths, so hi, I'm here to take your call. Lots of 404s, yeah, fully. Do I recognize any of these yahoos? Is that guy playing ping pong? That'll get the work done. Ooh, hello. Let's do a search for census near me publication. Don't see it here. Near me guide. Or was it? I saw one. Get that out of there. I think it might have even been one word. Near me. Yeah, it might have been one word. Near me. That's right. I went to Melbourne once for these guys. Didn't they have a mapping app? Yeah, that's true. They did, Hendrik. Yeah, they did have a mapping. Yeah, they did. Yeah, one time I went down to Melbourne for them to do something. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, that level 8, 713 Tomlins? No, I don't think that was it. Let's just check their product listing. I mean, I still have the physical magazines in my portfolio, so I can easily get them out. Near Me magazine. Not much sense in census. Nah. Check images. Let's go to Google. No thanks. Go near me. Magazine. Magazine. No. I mean, I'm stoked. I mean, trying to search for this shit. I'm really happy that I managed to keep physical hard copies of them because like it doesn't seem like it's something you can find. My building at 302 Pitt has been demolished to make way for the Pitt Street metro station. Metro, like as in light rail. Northern Beaches. Review. Yeah, it's not coming up at all, isn't it? Near me. Guide. Nah, dude, not getting jack shit. Near me, Sydney. Near me, Census, Sydney. Yeah, one day, I mean, one day I can dig them out from my portfolio. I've got them all there. It's interesting that that doesn't come up as a search term, though. Oh, well, I mean, look, this stream's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have. I see 7 likes and 2 watching. That's a good number. If you haven't liked the stream yet, then like it now. If you found this stream entertaining, if you found this stream educational, if you've got hives and you want to know how to cure them or how to help reduce the effects, tell fast. And tell me how it goes. I'm going to continue to take one of these every day until they're gone. I found out after when I was there with the cruise with Charlotte. Well, I don't know if you've heard from her, Hendrik, but I did have a conversation with Charlotte. She's okay, and I guess she's doing her thing for a while. Yeah, she's all good though. But I'm going to get out of here now, folks. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. If you found this content successful, no. If you found the content likable, smash the like button. Do that. That's all you got to do. Just put your finger on it. Smack it. I'll see you on the flip side. Get out of here. Go on. Go on.